welcome to Esoterica and Nonsense, a podcast where we discuss myths, legends, folktales, fairy tales, supernatural phenomenon, and religions from around the world. I'm your host, Annabelle Pepperbell Banana Hell. Today is story time. If you're new here, welcome. Every week we cuddle up, we drink tea, and we have a story time. Sometimes I go on long religious rants. Sometimes I just read stories from storybooks. And today is going to be story time. I am actually done drinking my tea. I considered bringing it up, but I had so much tea today. I was drinking Golden Monkey. It's so good. It's a Chinese tea. And I think some consider it a yellow tea, which is very cool. But it's delicious, and I highly recommend it, Golden Monkey. But right now, I am drinking filtered water with a pinch of pink salt. Get your electrolytes, everyone. Don't forget your electrolytes. I hope that you are doing well. I hope you are taking good care of yourself. It is not easy to be a human being here on planet Earth. We're all doing our best. And what I dream for all of us is that we focus on our health and the health of our planet. I don't really care about money. I don't care about ambition. All I want to do is be eating fruit in the sun with my titties out. Hello? And I really hope we can do that together as a team. That's my dream. So if you haven't done it already, I recommend making some tea, maybe making some coffee, having some water. Do your thing, baby boy, and let's cuddle up for story time. I'm excited. Today I have hand-selected a story, which is a Russian folktale. And it is called The Stolen Turnips, The Magic Tablecloth, The Sneezing Goat, and The Wooden Whistle. I would like to wet my whistle. Hello? I can't wait. Are you ready? Yeah, you're ready. Okay, here we go, darling. This is the story which old Peter used to tell whenever either Vanya or Marusia was cross. Already I'm hooked. Vanya and Marusia, hot. I can already tell these are hot girls. And they're cross, love that. We love that. This did not often happen, but it would be no use to pretend that it never happened at all. Sometimes it was Vanya who scolded Marusia, and sometimes it was Marusia who scolded Vanya. Yeah, they sound really hot. I'm imagining like scrunchies. I'm imagining feathered bangs. I'm imagining like a maroon brown lipstick. I'm imagining like classic, like the USSR was just ended. It's the year 1990. You know, like I'm really seeing the full fantasy of the feathered bangs and the scrunchie. Yeah, I'm really loving Vanya's vibe and Marusia's vibe. Sometimes there were two scoldings going on at once. Ooh. And old Peter did not like crossness in the hut. Whoever did the scolding, he did not like it. He said it spoiled his tobacco and put a sour taste in his tea. Oh, well, we can't have that. We can't have it. And of course, when the children remembered that they were spoiling their grandfather's tea and tobacco, they stopped just as quickly as they could, unless their tongues had run right away with them, which happens sometimes, you know, even to grown-up people. This story used to be told in two ways. It was either the tale of an old man who was bothered by a cross old woman, or the tale of an old woman who was bothered by a cross old man. And the moment old Peter began the story, both children would ask at once, "Which is the cross one?" For then they would know which of them old Peter thought was in the wrong. "This time it's the old woman," said the grandfather. "But as like as not, it will be the old man next." And then any quarreling there was came to an end and was forgotten before the end of the story. Stop it! This is cute. This is so cute. A grandfather is telling this story to squash the beef. And this is the story. What a beautiful premise. Oh my gosh, I love this. See, pause. Like, this is why I made this podcast, because I did not grow up hearing folk tales or fairy tales from my parents or my grandparents. It's all I wanted to know. I wanted to know about fairies. I wanted to know about the ancestors. I wanted to know about dragons. I wanted to know about the ancient world. I wanted to hear the stories. Hello? And this is just touching my heart right now. This is a story that a grandfather would tell his super hot and like stoic Russian granddaughters. I'm just loving this. I'm loving this. All right, are you ready? This is our story. Once, an old man and an old woman lived in a little wooden house. All round the house, there was a garden crammed with flowers and potatoes and beetroots and cabbages. And in one corner of the house, there was a narrow wooden stairway which went up and up, twisting and twisting, into a high tower. In the top of the tower, there was a dovecot, and on the top of the dovecot was a flat root. What's a dovecot? Am I crazy? Does everyone know what a dovecot is except Annabelle? Dovecot, what is it? We're going on Google, everyone. PSA, we're Googling dovecot. What could it mean? Come on, you guys. I know you can search a little faster than this. My internet's not been wonderful. Okay, a dovecot or a dovecote is a columbarium. It is a structure intended to house pigeons or doves. Okay. I know exactly what this is. Okay, it's almost like a dome tower. It's like a small, it's a birdhouse. Harry Potter, anyone? If you've seen Harry Potter, where everyone keeps their owls, it's like that. It's like a small tower where you keep pigeons. Oh, that's why it's called a dovecote or a dovecot. It looks like it's I don't have a definitive answer if it's dovecote or dovecot, but we're gonna say dovecot because that's how it's spelled most of the time. And I love this. We learned a new word today, everyone. Love that. Okay. So where are we? This old couple lives in this super cute cottage. There's flowers, there's potatoes, there's beetroots, there's cabbages. We're in like Russia right now, so I'm pretty sure they probably make borscht fresh from the garden, which I'm loving. I'm just adding this in. I'm making an educated assumption right now. And then in the corner of their little wooden house, we have the narrow wooden stairway, which goes up and up. It twists and twists into the high tower. Yes, got it. Okay, so on the top of the high tower is our dovecot. This is where they keep the pigeons. And on the top of the dovecot is a flat roof. You know what? Take me there. I want a pigeon tower. I want a dovecot. Can I have a dovecot for Christmas? Okay, so now the old woman was never content with the doings of the old man. Typical. She doesn't even need to explain. I already get it. She scolded him all day, and she scolded him all night. If there was too much rain, it was the old man's fault. If there was a drought, and all green things were parched for lack of water, well, the old man was to blame for not altering the weather. Damn. Okay, this sounds like resentment. This sounds like couples therapy is on the menu. And though the old man was quite old and tired, it was all the same to her how much work she put on his shoulders. The garden was full. There was no room in it at all, not even for a single pea. And all of a sudden, the old woman sets her heart on growing turnips. Honestly, I am kind of living for the old woman. I'm loving this energy. This is my kind of girl, you know? I like the girl who is bossy. I'm loving this. And I love turnips. Turnips are underrated. We need to talk about turnips. Why aren't we growing turnips, eating turnips? Turnips are so good roasted. They make such a good chip. Oh, imagine doing like a latke, if you will, but with turnips. Oh my God. The children these days don't even know. Gen Z, do you even know what a turnip is? Google it. Okay. So our dear girl, I'm going to call her Zhenya. I'm sorry, her name is Zhenya, and I know it. I know it. Ya ti bien очень люблю, Zhenya. Okay, so the old woman demands turnips of her worthless husband. And he says, but there is no room in the garden. Sew them up on top of the dovecot, says the old woman. But there is no earth there, he says. Well, carry earth up and put it there, says she. Oh my God, yeah, this is cunty. So the old man labored up and down with his tired old bones and covered the top of the dovecot with good black earth. He could only take up a very little at a time because he was old and weak and because the stairs were so narrow and dangerous that he had to hold on with both hands and carry the earth in a bag which he held in his teeth. Oh, this is kind of fucked up. Yeah, she's doing him dirty. This is not nice. This isn't nice. She should at least help him. I get it. I'm getting the moral of the story here. I'm getting it. Zhenya, I love her, but this is a lot. You're doing a lot to Boris. Again, these are my names, but I've decided. Sorry about it. Boris's teeth were so strong that his teeth were so strong because he had been biting crusts all his life. Aww. The old woman left him nothing else, for she took all the crumb for herself. The old man did his best, and by evening the top of the dovecot was covered with earth, and he had sown it with turnip seed. Oh, Boris is nice. The next day, and the day after that, and every day after, the old woman scolded the old man till he went up to the dovecot to see how those turnip seeds were getting on. Are they ready to eat yet? She said. They are not ready to eat, he replied. Is the green sprouting? She asked. The green is sprouting, he replied. At last there came a day when the old man came down from the dovecot and said, the turnips are doing finely, quite big as they are getting, but all the best ones have been stolen away. Oh, no. This is not good. Zhenya is gonna flip. Stolen away? Cried the old woman, shaking with rage. And have you lived all these years and not learned how to keep thieves from a turnip bed? On the top of a dovecot? On the top of a tower? On the top of a house? Out with you! And don't you dare come back till you have caught the thieves. Damn. This is treacherous. Who do you think the thieves are? They have to be little critters, right? Like little hedgehogs? Maybe they're hedgehogs who wanted the turnips. I want to hang out with the hedgehogs eating turnips. Yeah, honestly, I did love Zhenya at first, but I'm starting to love Boris more. I want to hang out with Boris and grow turnips and relax. Come on. So the old man did not dare to tell her that the door had been bolted, although he knew it had, because he had bolted it himself. Of course he did, because he's a thorough pepper. He hurried away out of the house, more because he wanted to get out of earshot of her scolding than because he had any hope of finding the thieves. They may be birds, thinks he, or the little brown squirrels. Who else could climb so high without using the stairs? And how is an old man like me to get a hold of them, flying through the tops of the high trees and running up and down the branches? And so he wandered away without his dinner into the deep forest. Oh, Boris! Boris in the deep forest. Oh my God. Could you imagine that book? A little kid's book illustrated, Boris in the deep forest, and he's going on a turnip quest. Oh my God. And he collects turnips and he talks to the hedgehogs and the brown squirrels and the pigeons. And they all go on a turnip quest. Sign me up. Turnip quest. Boris in the deep forest. I'm sorry. Hollywood, where are you? I'm ready. I have ideas ready to go. They're flowing right now. But God is good to old men. Hasn't he given me 2 little pigeons who nearly always are as merry as all little pigeons should be? Stop, I'm going to cry. And God led the old man through the forest, though the old man thought he was just wandering on, trying to lose himself and forget the scolding voice of the old woman. Stop it. I can't get over this sentence. Hasn't he given me 2 little pigeons who nearly always are as merry as little pigeons should be? Get out of here. That's the relationship with God that I want. I want God to give me 2 little pigeons who are nearly always as merry as little pigeons should be. Stop it. Boris in the forest is going to be a sleeper hit. This new generation of kids is going to love it. It's going to be like, do you know what it's going to be like? It's going to be like Frog and Toad vibe mixed with the, what's that kid's book where the old lady cooks stew? She looks like Baba Yaga. You know what I'm talking about? She's like this old like babushka and she like cooks a stew. It's like the whole premise of the book. Yeah, imagine those 2 worlds combining. Like this old wench Baba Yaga with Frog and Toad. Sign me up. Stop eating borscht and going on turnip quests. So, after the old man had walked a long way through the dark green forest, he saw a little hut standing under the pine trees. There was no smoke coming from the chimney, but there was such a chattering in the hut that you could hear it far away. It was like coming near a rookery at evening, or disturbing a lot of starlings. What's a rookery? Do you know what a rookery is? What is a rookery? Oh, that's a great word, don't you think? Rookery. A rookery is a breeding colony of rooks, typically seen as a collection of nests high in a clump of trees. Oh, interesting. So I think by rooks they mean birds, right? Also, interestingly enough, sometimes rookery are used as slang terms for a collection of housing, specifically things like slums. That is so fascinating. Get out of here. I'm learning so many new words. A rookery. And with that, let's take a break. Hello, traveler. Have you forgotten that you are an incredible, one-of-a-kind pepper? There is no one on planet Earth like you. Do you know how incredible that is? Never forget it. It might take time. It might take practice, but whatever your dreams are, you can attain them. Yes, you can, and you know that it's true. I believe in you. I'm so proud of you. One step at a time, and you're going to make it. And we're back. We're learning new words today. We're learning what dovecots are and rookeries. And I'm having the time of my life. And I'm having some water. Because hydration feels so good. Being in my 30s has been so wild because now I'm fully sober. And I never planned on being fully sober. I've been like smoking weed since I was 16. And then when I woke up one day when I was 28, I just stopped smoking weed. It was so bizarre. Never planned. I imagined myself smoking my whole life. I love psychedelics. But now I'm in my 30s and I just feel high off of life. And there's just nothing like drinking salted water and feeling fully alive. I can feel my cells tingling. Life is a high. Reality is a hard drug. You can't convince me otherwise. I feel like when you learn to enjoy reality, it really is the high that keeps on giving. It really is. But I support you. Whoever you are, I support you. I'm not on some PSA convincing you to get sober. I'm just saying, like, my 16-year-old self would never believe that I would be drinking water and tripping. Also, okay, not to go super off topic, but a few weeks ago, I did an episode about gateway experiences, specifically declassified CIA documents, which talk about gateway experiences and also the holographic theory of the universe. And so I found this playlist of gateway experience meditations on YouTube, and now I believe I'm on day 11. I've been doing them every day, and it has been mind-blowing. It's been life-changing. They use different frequencies in each ear. You have to wear headphones, and they put different frequencies in each of your ears. And then there's also like a guided meditation portion where there are directions. And I'm telling you, I feel like I'm rewiring my entire nervous system. It is so wild. A few days ago, I was listening to one while I was falling asleep, and I ended up dozing off, and I woke up twitching. It wasn't scary, but like I could feel the electricity pulsing through my body, and it woke me up. Like I actually like convulsed. It was so interesting. And I actually do meditate a lot. And if you don't know, I do guided meditations for every new moon and full moon here in the podcast. And on my Patreon, I'm also going to start releasing more meditations for people if you would like to subscribe and support the podcast. But my point is, these gateway experiences are a different animal because these noises that they play, which are called binaural beats, really do something to your body. And I find that even if I zone out and I'm not following the directions of the guided meditation, I can feel energy pulsing in my body in a very odd and interesting way. So anyway, do what you will with that, but I'm telling you, a little salt in your water and a daily meditation, and you're gonna be high as a kite. I'm telling you, it's pretty cool, you guys. Okay, so where were we, darling? We were here with Boris. We were in the woods, and that's where he came, up to a little hut, right? Oh yes, there we are. We're at a little hut in the pine trees, deep in the forest. There's smoke coming out of the chimney, and he's hearing all the chattering, and that's where we learned the new word. The noise coming from the hut was almost like coming across a rookery at evening or disturbing a lot of starlings. And as the old man came slowly nearer to the hut, he thought he saw little faces looking at him through the window and peeping through the door. He could not be sure because they were gone so quickly, and all the time the chattering went on louder and louder till the old man nearly put his hands to his ears. And then, suddenly, the chattering stopped. There was not a sound, no noise at all. The old man stood still. A squirrel dropped a fir cone close by, and the old man was startled by the fall of it because everything else was so quiet. "Whatever there is in the hut, it won't be worse than the old woman," says the old man to himself. So he makes the sign of the Holy Cross and steps up to the little hut and takes a long look through the door. There was no one to be seen, and you would have thought the hut was empty. Stop, I'm so excited. Are they trolls? I think they're trolls, right? What do you think? The old man took a step inside, bending under the little low door. Still, he could see nobody, only a great heap of rags and blankets on the sleeping place on top of the stove. The hut was as clean as if it had only that minute been swept by Mariusa herself. But in the middle of the floor, there was a scrap of a green leaf lying. And the old man knew in a moment that this was a scrap of a green leaf from the top of a young turnip. Escándalo! Stop it. This is turning into like a Law and Order mystery. I'm hooked right now. I am hooked. Boris is figuring out who did the crime. Hopefully this turns into a turnip party. Are you kidding me? I love turnips. I love turnips. Okay, so while the old man looked at the leaf, the heap of blankets and rugs on the stove began to move, first in one place and then in another. And there was a little laugh, and then another, and suddenly there was a great stir in the blankets, and they were all thrown back helter-skelter, and there were dozens and dozens of little queer children laughing and laughing and laughing and looking at the old man. Most likely, the story says queer children, and I just want to remind you that similar to the word gay, back in the day, the word queer was often used to mean something odd. Oh, that's a little queer. Oh, how odd, right? And similar to gay means happy. And the word gay used to be used for someone who was incredibly lighthearted and happy. I feel like it is really telling as well that now we use these words for the queer community because it's like, oh yeah, you're so happy. Like it's a bad thing. Whatever. Also, this is another fun fact that I learned recently. I learned that the word dude was actually a derogatory, like homophobic word that was coined in like the 17th, 18th century when there was like a bunch of, quote, like dandies in Europe. And a dandy kind of referred to like, I guess like a metrosexual man in France and England. They were men who would like wear rouge on their cheeks and they were fancy boys, fancy man. So they would call them dandies. And it was kind of like, yeah, it was a little bit homophobic and it was a little bit, it was almost kind of like a term used like, oh, that's a city boy, that's a fancy man, that's a little bitch, a little dandy. So the word dude derives from dandy. And so that's where dude came from. They would call little fancy man boys from the city dudes. And then it became reappropriated in the United States to mean like a man, like a dude ranch and like a bro. Isn't that so fun? I love that fun fact. I'm also from California, so dude is a multi-purpose word. You know, like anyone can be my dude. I use dude for everyone. Sometimes I call my Nana dude. She doesn't love it, but I'm sorry, Nana. I'm an East Bay baby. Shout out, East Bay. Okay, so here we are. We're in our hut. Boris has discovered this group of, quote, queer children who are laughing and laughing and laughing and looking at him. And every child is holding a little turnip. And they show it to the old man and they laugh. I'm telling you, I knew it. It's a turnip party. We're having a fucking turnip party. Turn up. Turn up for turnips. I'm loving this story. Just then, the door of the stove flew open, and out tumbled more of the little queer children, dozens and dozens of them. Oh my God, stop it. A gay turnip party? Get out of here. The more they came tumbling out into the hut, the more there seemed to be chattering in the stove and squeezing to get out, one over the top of another. The noise of the chattering and laughing would have made your head spin, and every one of the children out of the stove had a little turnip like the others, and waved it about and showed it to the old man, and laughed like anything. "Ho!" says the old man. "So you're the thieves who have stolen the turnips from the top of the dovecot?" "Yes," cried the little children, and the chatter rattled as fast as the hailstones on the roof. "Yes, yes, yes, we stole the turnips." Honestly, I'm trying to join their crew. This is a sick crew. "How did you get on the top of the dovecot when the door into the house was bolted and fast?" At that, the little children all burst out laughing and did not answer a word. "Laugh you may," said the old man, "but it is I who get the scolding when the turnips fly away in the night." "Oh, never mind," cried the children. "We'll pay for the turnips." "How can you pay for them?" asks the old man. "You have nothing to pay with." All the children chattered together and looked at the old man and smiled. Then one of them said to the old man, "Are you hungry, grandfather?" "Hungry?" says the old man. "Why, yes, of course I am, my dear. I have been looking for you all day, and I had to start without my dinner." "If you're hungry, open the cupboard behind you." The old man opened the cupboard. "Take out the tablecloth." The old man took out the tablecloth. Oh, could you imagine? I'm imagining a Russian-style tablecloth, kind of like the amazing jewel tone floral patterns, or like a lace, like a doily situation. "Spread the tablecloth on the table," the children said. The old man spread the tablecloth on the table. "Now," shouted the children, chattering like 1,000 nests full of young birds, "we'll all sit down and have dinner." They pulled out the benches and gave the old man a chair at one end, and all crowded round the table, ready to begin. "But there is no food," said the old man. How they laughed. This is giving Lost Boys from Hook. Oh my God. "Grandfather," one of the children sang out from the other end of the table, "you just tell the tablecloth to turn inside out." "How?" says he. "Tell the tablecloth to turn inside out. It's easy enough." "There's no harm in doing that," thinks the old man. So he says to the tablecloth as firmly as he could, "Now then, you tablecloth, turn inside out." The tablecloth hove itself up in the air and rolled itself this way and that as if it were in a whirlwind, and then suddenly laid itself flat on the table again, and somehow or other it had covered itself with dishes and plates and wooden spoons with pictures on them, and bowls of soup and mushrooms and kasha and meat and cakes and fish and ducks and everything else you could think of, ready for the best dinner in the world. The chattering and laughing stopped, and the old man and those dozens and dozens of little queer children set to work and ate everything on the table. "Which of you washes the dishes?" asked the old man when they had all finished. The children laughed. "Tell the tablecloth to turn inside out." Turn outside in. Honestly, this is an incredible purchase. This is like a magic carpet, but instead of travel, it's just food related. And honestly, I would highly consider this. "Tablecloth," says the old man. "Turn outside in." Up jumped the tablecloth with all the empty dishes and dirty plates and spoons, whirled itself this way and that in the air, and suddenly spread itself out flat again on the table, as clean and white as when it was taken out of the cupboard. There was not a dish or bowl or spoon or plate or knife to be seen, not even a crumb. "Yelt ye shalt get nary a crumb." Do you guys know that song? I bet no one knows that song. I bet no one knows it. I love that song. Do you want me to sing it for you? Okay, you asked. "Marjorie, come feed your black sow all on a misty morning. Come to your dinner now, come, come, come. Yelt ye shalt get nary a crumb." Am I nuts for knowing that song? Yeah. You don't even need to answer that. Yeah. I'm one of the little queer children. Sorry about it, not sorry. Sorry about it. So, Boris is dumbfounded. Boris is loving this tablecloth. He says, "That's a good tablecloth." "Yeah, buddy. Yeah, dude. You could say that again." "See here, grandfather," shouted one of the queer children. "You take the tablecloth along with you and say no more about those turnips." Honestly, fair trade. Love this trade. Take my turnips, and I will take your magical tablecloth. Done. "Well, I'm content with that," says the old man. Yeah, fuck yeah. And he folded up the tablecloth very carefully and put it away inside his shirt and said he must be going. "Goodbye," says he, "and thank you for the dinner and the tablecloth." "Goodbye," say they, "and thank you for the turnips." The old man made his way home, singing through the forest in his creaky old voice until he came near the little wooden house where he lived with the old woman. As soon as he came near, he slipped along like a mouse. And as soon as he put his head inside the door, the old woman began. "Have you found the thieves, you old fool?" "Yes, I found the thieves." "Well, who were they?" "They were a whole crowd of little queer children." Oh no, I think Zhenya is she's not gonna like that. "Have you given them a beating that they'll remember?" "Oh no, Zhenya." "No," said Boris, "I have not." "What? Bring the children to me, and I will teach them to steal my turnips." "I haven't got the children," he said. "Well, what have you done with them?" "I ate dinner with them," he said. Yes, let her have it. Boris just had the night of his life, partying with the queer kids and eating unlimited food. Sorry, Zhenya, you're being a dick. Yeah, I'm loving this. This is free Boris. Hashtag free Boris. Well, at that, the old woman flew into such a rage she could hardly speak. But speak she did, yes, and shout and scream. And that was all the old man could do not to run away out of the cottage. But he stood still and listened, and thought of something else. And when she had done, he said, "They paid for the turnips." "Paid for the turnips?" scolded the old woman. "A lot of children? What did they give you? Mushrooms?" I love that that's her first assumption. "We can get them without losing our turnips." Wow, I love that Zhenya asked if they paid in mushrooms. I love that. What a fantastic question. "No," he said, "they did not pay in mushrooms. They gave me a tablecloth." and it's a very good tablecloth. Stop. Let's take a break. Hey, little Pepper. This is Annabelle here, reporting live from Pepper World HQ. If you enjoy the podcast, it would help so much if you could follow me. You could write a comment, give me 5 stars perhaps. Also, I would love to hear from you. Email in at esotericaandnonsense@gmail.com. I'd love to hear about your stories. I'd love to hear about suggestions. I would love to hear about any kind of weird, freaky thing that comes to your mind. Also, if you would like to support my podcast, you can follow me on Patreon. It's Patreon.com/esotericaandnonsense. I will also have a YouTube page coming at you so soon. And I also sell merch. You can look up my merch. It's in the show notes for every single episode, as well as the show notes for my show. I appreciate you so much. I made this podcast to connect with cool, freaky people like you. So thank you so much. I can't get over paying for turnips with mushrooms. I want to live in a world where we are buying our goods with mushrooms and with magical tablecloths. This is the future that I am manifesting for myself and for you, if you would only let me. If you would only let me, I would manifest an amazing future for you, where we were in the sun, exploring the deep forest, and trading turnips for mushrooms and magical tablecloths. I only wish you would just quit your job and come along. Hello? So, Boris now pulls the magical tablecloth out of his shirt. He spreads it on the table, and as quickly as he could, before she began again, he said, "Tablecloth, turn inside out." The old woman stopped short, just when she was taking breath to scold him. When the tablecloth jumped up and danced in the air and settled back on the table again, covered with things to eat and to drink, she smelt the meat. She took a spoonful of the soup and tried all of the other dishes. "Look at all the washing up it will mean," says she. "Tablecloth, turn outside in," says the old man. This is like such a mic drop, like, bitch, let me show you. And there was a whirl of white cloth and dishes and everything else. And then the tablecloth spread itself out on the table as clean as ever you could wish. "That's not a bad tablecloth," says the old woman. Yeah, no shit. Not bad. Try exemplary. "But of course, they owed me something for stealing those turnips." The old man said nothing. He was very tired, and he just laid down and went to sleep. As soon as he was asleep, the old woman took the tablecloth and hid it away in an iron chest and put a tablecloth of her own in its place. "They were my turnips," says she, "and I don't see why he should have a share in the tablecloth. He's had a meal from it once at my expense, and once is enough." Then she lay down and went to sleep, grumbling to herself even in her dreams. Damn, Zhenya, you're really tipping the scales. I was living for Zhenya, and now I'm not on her team at all. She's being a dick to my boy Boris, and I'm not appreciating it. I'm not liking it. Boris passed the vibe test. He was partying with the queer kids. He is growing vegetables. He's super nice. No. Zhenya, no. Early the next morning, the old woman woke up, and she woke up the old man and told him to go up to the dovecot and see how the remaining turnips were getting on. He got up and rubbed his eyes. When he saw the tablecloth on the table, the wish came to him to have a bite of food to begin the day with. So he stopped in the middle of putting on his shirt and called to the tablecloth, "Tablecloth, turn inside out." Nothing happened. Why should anything happen? It was not the same tablecloth. The old man told the old woman, "You should have made a good feast yesterday," says he, "for the tablecloth is no good anymore. That is, it's no good that way. It's like any ordinary tablecloth." "Most tablecloths are," says the old woman. "But what are you dawdling about? Up you go and have a look at those turnips." The old man went climbing up the narrow, twisting stairs and held on with both hands for fear of falling, because they were so steep. He climbed to the top of the house, to the top of the tower, to the top of the dovecot, and looked at the turnips. He looked at the turnips and he counted the turnips, and then he came slowly down the stairs again, wondering what the old woman would say to him. "Well," says the old woman in her sharp voice, "are they doing nicely? Because if not, I know whose fault it is. Damn, this fucking bitch. She's being such a bitch." "They are doing finely," said the old man. "But some of them have gone. Indeed, quite a lot of them have been stolen away." "Stolen away?" screamed the old woman. "How dare you stand there and tell me that? Didn't you find the thieves yesterday? Go and find those children again, and take a stick with you, and don't show yourself here till you can tell me what they won't steal again in a hurry." "Let me have a quick bite to eat," begs the old man. "It's a long way to go on an empty stomach." "Not a mouthful," yells the old woman. "Off with you! Letting my turnips be stolen every night, and then talking to me about bites of food?" Yeah, dude, she's a tyrant. I'm not feeling her. "I was riding for you, Zhenya. I was riding for you. And now I can't even co-sign you, dog. You're being a total..." This is a reminder. If you don't like someone, don't be around them. But if you choose to live with someone, be it a friend, be it a roommate, be it a lover, let's be kind to each other. Maybe we have issues. Maybe we need some conflict resolution. Maybe we even need to hire a professional to help navigate our conflict resolutions. But treating each other like garbage, no, not cool. It's 2025, people. Let's move fucking past this. I'm not loving Zhenya right now. So, alas, the old man went off again without his dinner and hobbled away into the forest as quickly as he could get out of earshot of the old woman's scolding tongue. As soon as he was out of sight, the old woman stopped screaming after him and went into the house and opened the iron chest and took out the tablecloth the children had given the old man. Yep, I knew it. She laid it on the table instead of her own. She told it to turn inside out, and up it flew and whirled and flopped down again on the table, all covered with delicious things. She ate as much as she could hold, and then she told the tablecloth to turn outside in and folded it up and hid it away again in the iron chest. Trifling! Meanwhile, the old man tightened his belt because he was so hungry. He hobbled along through the green forest till he came to the little hut standing under the pine trees. There was no smoke coming from the chimney, but there was such a chattering you would have thought that all the Vanyas and Marusyas in Holy Russia were talking to each other inside. Oh, this is so cute, because let us not forget, this is a story that a grandpa is telling his two cute granddaughters, Vanya and Marusyas. This is so sweet. He had no sooner come in sight of the little hut than the dozens and dozens of little queer children came pouring out of the door to meet him, and every single one of them had a turnip and showed it to the old man and laughed as if it were the best joke in the world. "I knew it was you," said the old man. "Of course it was us," cried the children. "We stole the turnips." I'm obsessed with the queer kids. Queer kids, unite! Let's go turnip hunting. Yes. But how did you get to the top of the dovecot when the door into the house was bolted and fast? The children laughed and did not answer a word. Laugh you may, says the old man, but it is I who get the scolding when the turnips fly away in the night. Never mind, cried the children. We'll pay for the turnips. Very well, says the old man. But the tablecloth of yours, it was fine yesterday, but this morning it would not even give me a glass of tea and a hunk of black bread. At that, the faces of the little queer children were troubled and grave. For a moment or two, they all chattered together and took no notice of the old man. Then one of them said, Well, this time we'll give you something better. We'll give you a goat. A goat, says the old man. A goat with a cold on its head, said the children. A cold? What? And they crowded round him and took him behind the hut, where there was a gray goat with a long beard cropping the short grass. It's a good enough goat, says the old man. I don't see anything wrong with him. It's better than that, cried the children. You tell the goat to sneeze. The old man thought the children might be laughing at him, but he did not care, and he remembered the tablecloth. So he took off his hat and bowed to the goat. Sneeze, goat, says he, and instantly the goat started sneezing as if it would shake itself into pieces, and it sneezed. Good gold pieces flew from it in all directions till the ground was thick with them. That's enough, said the children hurriedly. Tell him to stop, for all this gold is no use to us. And it's such a bother having to sweep it away. What problems? Oh my God. Stop sneezing, goat, says the old man. And the goat stopped sneezing and stood there panting and out of breath in the middle of a sea of gold pieces. The children began kicking the gold pieces about, spreading them by walking through them as if they were dead leaves. The decadence. Love this. My father used to say that those gold pieces are lying about still for anybody to pick up. But I doubt if he knew just where to look for them, or he would have had better clothes on his back and a little more food on the table. But who knows? Some day we may come upon that little hut somewhere in the forest, and then we shall know what to look for. Oh my God, look for the group of queer kids that can give you a goat with a cold who sneezes gold. This is so cool. The children laughed and chattered and kicked the gold pieces this way and that into the green bushes. And they brought the old man into the hut and gave him a bowl of kasha to eat, because he had to have dinner. There was no magic about the kasha, but it was good enough kasha for all that, and hunger made it better. What is kasha? Kasha. What is kasha? Kasha. What is kasha? We're Googling it. Did you like my song? Okay, kasha is essentially like a buckwheat porridge. Interesting. Okay, so they're eating buckwheat porridge. So, when the old man had finished the kasha and drunk a glass of tea and smoked a little pipe, he got up and made a low bow and thanked the children. And the children tied a rope to the goat and sent the old man home with it. He hobbled away through the forest, and as he went, he looked back. And there were the little queer children all dancing together, and he heard them chattering and shouting, "Who stole the turnips? We stole the turnips. Who paid for the turnips? We paid for the turnips. Who stole the tablecloth? Who will pay for the tablecloth? Who will steal the turnips again? We will steal the turnips again." Yes. Yes, children. Yes, children. Pop the corn, feed the children. Grow the turnips, Feed the queer children. I'm loving this. But the old man was too pleased with the goat to give much heed to what they said, and he hobbled home through the green forest as fast as he could, with the goat trotting and walking behind him, pulling leaves off the bushes to chew as they hurried along. The old woman was waiting in the doorway of the house. She was still as angry as ever. "Have you beaten the children?" she screamed. "Have you beaten the children for stealing my good turnips?" "No," said the old man. "They paid for the turnips." "What did they pay?" "Well, they gave me this goat," he said. "That skinny old goat? I have 3 already, and the worst of them is better than that." "It has a cold in the head," says the old man. "Worse than ever," screams the old woman. "Now wait a minute," says the old man as quickly as he could, to stop her scolding. "Sneeze, goat." And the goat began to shake itself almost to bits, sneezing and sneezing and sneezing. The good gold pieces flew all ways at once, and the old woman threw herself after the gold pieces, picking them up like an old hen picking up corn. Did I not just say pop the corn and feed the children? I'm telling you, am I psychic? Hello. As fast as she picked them up, more gold pieces came showering down on her like a heavy gold hail. A golden shower, perhaps, beating her on her head and her hands as she grubbed after those that had fallen already. "Stop sneezing, goat," says the old man. And the goat stood there, tired and panting, trying to get its breath. But the old woman did not look up till she had gathered every one of the gold pieces. When she did look up, she said, "There's no supper for you. I've had supper already. This bitch, I'm so sick of her right now. Boris, we need to break up with her." The old man said nothing. He tied up the goat to the doorpost of the house, where it could eat the green grass. Then he went into the house and lay down, and fell asleep at once, because he was an old man and he had done a lot of walking. As soon as he was asleep, the old woman untied the goat and took it away and hid it in the bushes, and tied up one of her own goats instead. "They were my turnips," says she to herself, "and I don't see why he should have a share in the gold." Then she went in and lay down, grumbling to herself. This bitch is trippin'. Early in the morning, she woke the old man. "Get up, you lazy fellow," says she. "You will lie all day and let all the thieves in the world come in and steal my turnips? Up with you to the dovecot and see how my turnips are getting on." Do you know who I'm imagining Xenia looks like? Miss Trunchbull from Matilda. You know what I'm talking about. That's what I'm seeing now. This is the picture I'm painting. The old man got up and rubbed his eyes and climbed up the rickety stairs, creak, 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 holding on with both hands till he came to the top of the house, to the top of the tower, to the top of the dovecot, and looked at the turnips. He was afraid to come down, for there were hardly any turnips left at all. And when he did come down, the scolding of the old woman was so much worse than the other scoldings rolled into one. She was so angry that she shook like a rag in the high wind. The old man put both hands to his ears and hobbled away into the forest. He hobbled along as fast as he could hobble until he came to the hut under the pine trees. This time, the queer children were not hiding under the blankets or the stove or chattering in the hut. They were all over the roof of the hut, dancing and crawling about. Some of them were even sitting in the chimney, and every one of the little queer children was playing with a turnip. As soon as they saw the old man, they came tumbling off the roof, one after another, head over heels, like a lot of peas rolling off a shovel. I'm loving this imagery. Peas rolling off a shovel? "We stole the turnips," they shouted, before the old man could say anything at all. I know you did, says the old man. But that does not make it any better for me, and it is I who get the scolding when the turnips fly away in the night. Never again, shouted the children. Well, I'm glad to hear that, says the old man. And we'll pay for the turnips, said the queer children. Thank you kindly, says the old man. He hadn't the heart to be angry with those little queer children. 3 or 4 of them ran into the hut and came out again with a wooden whistle, a regular whistle pipe such as shepherds use. They gave it to the old man. I can never play that, says the old man. I don't know one tune from another, and if I did, my old fingers are as stiff as oak twigs. Blow in it, cried the children, and all the others came crowding round, laughing and chattering and whispering to each other. Is he going to blow in it? They asked. Is he going to blow in it? How they laughed. These creepy-ass kids. Let's take a break. Planet Earth can be a terrifying place sometimes. Why is that? Because of humanity, human beings. However, I would like to remind you that planet Earth is a beautiful planet, and a big reason why is because of plants. Plants are amazing. Plants are so magical. Plants are the original OG life force on this planet. Plants can heal us, and plants necessitate our health. This is your reminder. Maybe you should plant a plant this year. If you're worried about plants, maybe you can have a succulent, like an agave. Agaves are amazing because it's almost impossible to kill agaves. And you can use them on your skin. You can use them if you have a sunburn. You can use them for moisturization. You can actually drink the pulp if you ever have a cold. Plants are incredible. The list goes on. You already know. But research some plants. Plant a house. No. Plant a plant within your house. Maybe plant a tree outside of your house. If everyone on Earth planted a tree today, that would be almost 8 billion more trees. Let's do this as a team, baby. And we're back, little peppers. I am at the edge of my seat. Is the man gonna blow into the magic whistle? Obviously, he has to. He'd be silly not to, this man. The old man took the whistle and gathered his breath and puffed out his cheeks and blew in the whistle pipe as hard as he could. And before he could take the whistle from his lips, 3 lively whips had slipped out of it and were beating him as hard as they could go, although there was nobody to hold them. Pew, pew, pew! The 3 whips came down on him, one after another. Oh, shit! Blow again, the children shouted, laughing as if they were mad. Blow again, quick, quick, quick! And tell the whips to get into the whistle. The old man did not wait to be told twice. He blew for all he was worth, and instantly the 3 whips stopped beating him. Into the whistle, he cried, and the 3 lively whips shot up into the whistle like 3 snakes going into a hole. What kind of witchery is this? These kids are little freaks. I'm loving it. He could hardly have believed that they had been out at all if it had not been for the soreness of his back. You take that home, cried the children. That'll pay for the turnips and put everything right. Yes, justice! Justice for my man Boris. Who knows, said the old man, and he thanked the children and set off home through the green forest. Goodbye, cried the little queer children. But as soon as he had started, they forgot all about him. When he looked round to wave his hand to them, not one of them was thinking of him. They were up again on the roof of the hut, jumping over each other and dancing and crawling about and rolling each other down the roof and climbing up again, as if they had been doing nothing else all day and they were going to do nothing else till the end of the world. Yeah, I'm trying to quit everything and join the Little Queer Children crew. This crew is lit. Turnip hunting, leapfrogging, chilling on the roof. Yeah, this is lit. The old man hobbled home through the green forest with the little whistle stuck safely away in his shirt. As soon as he came to the door of the hut, the old woman who was sitting inside counting the gold pieces jumped up and started her scolding. "What have the children tricked you with this time?" she screamed at him. "Well, they gave me this little whistle pipe," says the old man, "and they're not going to steal the turnips any more." "A whistle pipe!" she screamed. "What's the good of that? It's worse than the tablecloth and the skinny old goat." The old man said nothing. "Give it to me," screamed the old woman. "They were my turnips, so it's my whistle pipe." "Well, whatever you do, don't blow in it," says the old man as he hands over the whistle pipe. She wouldn't listen to him. "What?" says she. "I must not blow in my own whistle pipe? Yeah, bitch, justice." And with that, she put the whistle pipe to her lips and blew. Yeah, yes, that's what I've been waiting for. Out jumped the 3 lively whips. They flew up in the air and they began to beat her. Pew, 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 one after another. If they made the old man sore, it was nothing to what they did to the cross old woman. Stop them, she screamed, running this way and that in the hut, with the whips flying after her, beating her all the time. "I'll never scold you again. I am to blame. I stole the magic tablecloth. I put the old one out instead. I hid it in the iron chest." She ran to the iron chest and opened it and pulled out the tablecloth. Stop them, she screamed, while the whips laid it on hard and fast, one after another. "I am to blame. The goat that sneezes gold pieces is hidden in the bushes. The goat by the door is one of our old ones. I wanted all the gold for myself." All this time, the old man was trying to get a hold of the whistle pipe, but the old woman was running about the hut so fast, with the whips flying after her and beating her, that he could not get it out of her hands. At last he grabbed it. "Into the whistle," says he, and put it to his lips and blew. In that moment, the 3 lively whips had hidden themselves in the whistle, and there was a cross old woman kissing his hand and promising never to scold anymore. Yeah, fucking right. "That's all right," says the old man, and he fetched the sneezing goat out of the bushes and made it sneeze a little gold, just to be sure that it was the goat and no other. Then he laid the tablecloth on the table and told it to turn inside out. Up it flew and came down again with the best dinner that was ever cooked, only waiting to be eaten. And the old man and the old woman sat down and ate till they could eat no more. The old woman rubbed herself now and again, and the old man rubbed himself too. What? This is sounding dirty. Am I just a pervert? I think they're like rubbing their wounds. So I guess I am a pervert. Okay. But there was never a cross word between them again, and they went to bed singing like nightingales. Is that the end of the story? What? Is that the end of the story? Marussia always asked. Is that all? Asked Vanya, though he knew it was not. Vanya? No, they said they were both granddaughters. That has to be a typo. Is that all? Asked Vanya, though she knew it was not. There we go. Not quite, said old Peter, but the tale won't go any quicker than my old tongue. The next morning, the old woman had forgotten about her promise. I fucking knew it. I called it. And just from habit, she set about scolding the old man as if the whips had never jumped out of the whistle. She scolded him for sleeping too long. She sent him upstairs with a lot of cross words after him to go to the top of the dovecot and see how the turnips were getting on. After a little, the old man came down. "The turnips are coming on grandly," says he, "and not a single one has gone in the night. I told you the children said they would not steal any more." "I don't believe you," said the old woman. "I'll see for myself, and if they are gone, you shall pay for it, and pay for it well." Up she jumped and tried to climb the stairs, but the stairs were narrow and steep and twisting. She tried and could not get up at all. So she gets angrier than ever and starts scolding the old man again. "You must carry me up," says she. "I have to hold on with both hands, or I couldn't get myself up," says the old man. "I'll get in the flour sack, and you must carry me up with your teeth," says she. "They're strong enough." Oh no, I'm not liking this. This is a bad call. The old woman got into the flour sack. "Don't ask me any questions," says the old man, and he took the sack in his teeth and began slowly climbing up the stairs, holding on with both hands. He climbed, and he did not climb fast enough for the old woman. "Are we at the top?" says she. The old man said nothing, but went on, climbing up and up, nearly dead with the weight of the old woman in the sack, which he was holding in his teeth. This is ludicrous. He climbed a little further, and the old woman screamed out, "Are we at the top now? We must be at the top. Let me out, you fool!" The old man said nothing. He climbed on and on. The old woman raged in the flour sack. She jumped about in the sack and screamed at the old man. "Are we near the top now? Answer me, can't you? Answer me at once, or you will pay for this later. Are we near the top?" "Very near," said the old man. And as he opened his mouth to say that, the slack slipped from between his teeth, and bump, bump, bumpity bump, the old woman in the sack fell all the way to the very bottom, bumping on every step, and that was the end of her. After that, the old man lived alone in the hut. Damn. When he wanted tobacco or clothes or a new axe, he would make the goat sneeze some gold pieces, and off he went to the town with plenty of money in his pocket. When he wanted his dinner, he had only to lay the tablecloth down. He never had any washing up to do because the tablecloth did it for him. And when he wanted to get rid of troublesome guests, he would give them the whistle to blow. And when he was lonely and wanted company, he went to the little hut under the pine trees and played with the little queer children. Shut up! That was such a good story. Justice for my man, Boris. Love. Boris deserved it. I love that story. That was so much fun. I want to meet the little queer children in the pine forest. I want a magical tablecloth. I would love a magical goat. I'm just loving this fantasy. I want a giant garden. I want a dovecot. I want turnips on the roof. Like, honestly, this is beautiful. I loved this whole fantasy. Thank you so much for listening. 2025 is going to be a really exciting year. I'm really working on putting episodes out weekly. Mondays are my goal. I'm going to be putting videos on YouTube. I'm going to be doing 2 meditations a month for free, and then I will have extra meditations on my Patreon. And I just feel so grateful. Thank you for listening. I had so much fun reading this. Please take good care of you. Over and out, baby boy.